Makenshi Gotikes to Makenshi Dick Red's favorite anime. Welcome to an extended cut of my live reaction to Gintama episode 324. Because my camera footage got corrupted, as you might know, for my Gintama episode 324 live reaction, and I was only able to really salvage the audio and some footage. I decided, let me give you my thoughts on the tail end of that episode, because it's very, very fucking important. Now, first things first, when I reacted to it, part of me was okay, makes sense. Part of me was like, wow. But also, I want to mention that we've lately got a lot of revelations that give us context for certain characters' motivations. So in Shogun Assassination, we got motivation for Takasugi, and it was a big mystery about why Takasugi was the way he was, why he was so vicious, and why he was so cold. And we got that, and that was a big revelation. I guess this episode was that revelation for Kamui. But the way this felt, I felt it was more satisfying. I'm not saying the Takasugi stuff wasn't satisfying. That made me appreciate Takasugi more. But I think this actual revelation was a lot more satisfying. But it was satisfying, but equally kind of strange because, as we know, Kamui blames Omibozu for the mum's death because Omibozu took her away from the planet. And what was implied during a scene between Omibozu and Utsuro, when Omibozu chopped off Utsuro's arm and his arm started to, I guess, heal or regenerate, was that Kamui's mum was also lived that long, was also able to survive because she was next to Altana, an Altana Horde or Altana convergence point, and she can only survive on that planet. If she left that planet, I guess whatever was wrong with her, she began to break down again or get ill or that kind of thing. And I thought, wow, that is kind of fucking crazy. But I thought fucking Kamui is blaming fucking Umibozu for taking away from the planet. The guy would never have been born. They're not gonna settle down on that fucking planet with orochis everywhere, wasteland of their whole planet and thing. So that's like basically someone saying, I wish my mum had that abortion, man. My mum had that hard life, man. I wish she never had me. I wish she had that abortion. It's basically like saying that. It's this weird logic. Kamui's kind of got this weird twisted, mommy's boy logic that, like Umibozu is the reason why mum died and why mum got ill and all that kind of thing. At least that was what was implied. And I was like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I love Kamui, but now I'm thinking maybe Kamui is slightly fucking deranged. Like maybe it's not justifiable. And I'm sure because we're all invested in Umibozu, we're all invested in Kagura. Kagura wouldn't have been born if the mum was still on that planet. They wouldn't be able to raise a family on that planet. But look at he had his sister around him, he had his mother around him for a bit, he had his dad around him, They had a family thanks to that sacrifice, I guess, that the mother made, to move. She could have lived alone or died with people around her, and I thought that was emotionally resonant. I actually really teared up on that. I feel as though it gave me a lot of closure and also revelation about Yato and the way it worked. And we've just been Altana's just been introduced, and while it may be helping Utsuro maintain this fucking undying body and committing heinous acts and shit, on the flip side, we saw something so heartwarming, so touching, and I was genuinely in tears, man, genuinely in tears. That moment where fucking Kamui wanted to touch Kagura's head because it was the ball, like fresh baby head, the ball, and Kagura had a little bit of patch of hair at the front. That's so adorable. That's my favorite scene, which is why that's my thumbnail, as you know that I know. So I thought, I think Kamui he is twisted and he is deranged, and now we know why. But I think that reasoning for wanting to take out, Omibozu is, I don't buy it. I don't necessarily buy it. I can understand why he thinks that way, why he resents, Omibozu. But I think this was another teaser for next week. Another teaser. We got a brief glimpse, obviously with the arms getting fucking, now both are armless. Omibozu's fucking armless, and Utsuro's armless, but he's getting his thing back. I think Altana's a really interesting thing. They've managed to add some weight to what it means to people, Altana, and why why it matters so much. Like, it's basically Lazarus pit. Basically, you take people, and they're able to stay alive, be better, all that kind of thing. So, really, really, really great, interesting episode. I think it was one of my favorite episodes of not only this arc, but one of my favorite episodes of Gintama, because I love Kagura so much. I love the Yato so much. The Orochi stuff was interesting because they were making. I was saying, like, Orochi there was a double entendre, if that's the way, where they're supposed to look like giant dicks, and then they were making jokes about Umibozu's Orochi standing into attention and all that kind of thing, and I think it was kind of romantic. Generally, it was like such a romantic thing, and they could have easily, given how Kagura is, given how I feel as though she inherited traits, the goofiness of the dad, but the seriousness of her mom. They could have easily, but she was always beating, Shinpachi over the head in the early part of the series, punching Indoki, punching people. They could have easily made Kagura's mom this Sunday archetype, punching guys and saying, "Oh, don't look at me like that," all kind of thing. But they didn't. They made it genuinely romantic. That these two genuinely loved each other. They didn't have this cheesy, insincere relationship, comedic relationship. That they legit, like, Umibozu and the way they courted, all that stuff. Such a romantic episode. And I think this was Sorachi's best example of sincerity. I've been noticing that there are times where Sorachi does episodes that are deeply sincere. That he doesn't even want to undercut it with, when he starts to do the sincerity stuff, he doesn't want to undercut it with jokes. There are moments where he just refuses to do jokes. The one episode that reminds me of is the lunch episode. The lunch episode with, who's that little boy? There was an episode of Gintama where he was always like, "Oh, mom, man, the lunch you make me, man, it's not like, I don't want to eat it in front of everyone because people think maybe I'm privileged or whatever it is." Because his mom's the Yoshiwara, I guess the princess of Yoshiwara, isn't it? And he wants to just mingle with people, and he doesn't appreciate how much effort his mom puts into making her lunch. That was one episode that was deeply sincere. They never undercut it with that much humor. And that was the episode which had all the female characters of Gintama, Ote. And when he does that, when he introduces the female characters, and he wants to tell a sincere story about a mother, a husband and wife, a mother and child, a father and child, he doesn't undercut that sincerity, that family thing. So I really appreciate that, and I'm fucking hyped for Utsuna now. There's so much weight behind Umibozu now. I like Umibozu. It was always this guy, enigmatic guy. He was the strongest guy in the universe, and I wanted to feel for the guy. I never really felt for him. I know he had that relationship with Kagura, with the letters back and forth, and being away from Earth, but being happy that Kagura was amongst friends. And it also makes me think that it's thematically relevant to Kagura's mom, because Kagura's mom was lonely on a planet. She lived, but she was lonely on a planet. And Kagura may be under the sunlight, which is a big weakness to Yato, but she has people around her. So Umibozu understands that, give me those memories, give me those interactions, give me that companionship with my wife who didn't live long, over her being stuck on this planet completely alone. And she appreciates that for Kagura, that Kagura's on a planet Earth. She under the sunlight, it may not be the best thing for Yato, but she's amongst friends, she's among Gintoki, Shinpachi, that kind of thing. So I feel as though he wants for her what he wanted for the mother, and I'm sure he's not resentful at all. I'm sure he feels guilty, but I'm sure Kamui needs to see the light, fam. Metaphorically and literally, I guess. So thank you for watching. Be sure to comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter for the latest live reaction updates. And next week my camera's fixed, as you can see. No stutter, no corruption, all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for watching.